Howdy, I'm Tim.
Aloha, I'm Matt. And today we're going to be talking about 5 evergreen azaleas that you need in your garden.
We love azaleas. We've started growing more and more azaleas. Right now on Mr. Maple, you'll find over 100 cultivars of azaleas on our website. And we're constantly trying to do more and more. So today, we're going to break it down for you and give you 5 ones that we really like that you should have in your garden.
Hey, we find something we love and we go kind of crazy with it. That's kind of how we enjoy doing this business. So we get into something and then we have to have every version of it ever. So we kind of got a little overboard with it. Maybe we're Mr. Azalea now. There's a lot going on there for azaleas. If you like this video, let us know. Maybe we'll do a 5 native azaleas you should be doing as well. So there's gonna be a lot more of that flowering content coming up for you as we're getting into spring now. But we hope you enjoy this 5 evergreen azaleas that you should be growing.
This is one of my favorite azaleas that we do. This is one called Vibrant. It's a selection by James Harris of Lawrenceville, Georgia. And he hybridized a Satsuki azalea, Amagaso, with another azalea to create this beautiful masterpiece we've got here. Now the thing I love most about this plant is this two-tone you have on the blooms themselves. You've got this Picotea type variegation on the blooms where you have pink on the outside with a white center. Now in Satsuki azaleas, this is called a Sokojiro style variegation. This is a Satsuki hybrid, so I would continue to say that. And this tree, this little shrub, gets about 3 to 4 feet tall by about 3 to 4 foot wide. But with this variegation, I mean, I'm a sucker for variegation. Variegated blooms are no exception. You get just a lot of color out there in the landscape and garden. That's going to give you something very unique and something very different.
So being a good Irishman, I had to pick one with an Irish name. I'm here with the Azalea Irish Cream. Now this is a great azalea for those large blooms. It actually has a little hint of yellow-green in the eye, which gives it a really regal appearance, and it really actually brightens up that white in the garden. Now this is an excellent one for those large blooms. This one was bred by Colonel Pete Vines, who's famous for selecting those Holly Spring azaleas with large blooms that are also very cold tolerant. Now this one's great for that larger bloom. The bloom can actually get 3 to 4 inches. It's a mid to late spring bloomer with just a lot of color. I really enjoy those whites. When you get those out in that landscape, it's going to make those red azaleas and a lot of the other ones in your collection really pop. And it just gives a fresh, really open look in the garden. I think it's one you definitely want to include in your collection.
And now a word from our sponsor.
The sponsor for today's video is Mr. Maple. MrMaple.com is one of the biggest assortments of azaleas you'll find online or anywhere in the United States. They do over 150 different varieties of azaleas and a huge selection. You're definitely going to find an azalea that's right for you on MrMaple.com. So make sure to support our sponsor by checking out their website, MrMaple.com. And I hear they're great guys too.
So this is another azalea I really like. This is Azalea POUKHANENSE. If I'm saying that wrong, please correct me. It's called the Korean azalea. This is an azalea that is a heavy bloomer. It has a heavy bloom set and light lavender blooms with a little bit of a dark red blotch in the eye. This is one that's just amazing. We love this azalea because it's a zone 5. It's considered one of the most cold tolerant evergreens of all the evergreens. And this is an azalea that just keeps putting off blooms after blooms after blooms. If you like azaleas that are just full of blooms and light lavender color, this is probably the azalea for you. It's going to get about 6 to 8 feet tall by about 6 to 8 foot wide in 10 years. And it's going to be full of blooms, and it's just one of those ones that keeps reblooming at different points throughout the season. We really like POUKHANENSE, cold tolerant, full of blooms. It's like a lot of those southern indicas that you may grow in the deep south, but you can bring those to zone 5 with something like this. It's not a cultivar name, so it doesn't have a name in front after the species. It's the straight species like you'd find in the wild in Korea, but it's such an excellent plant. It needs to be used more in the landscape and garden.
So next up, I've picked the azalea HINO Crimson. Now this is a classic Kurume azalea. These were selected in Kurume, Japan, and hybridized there. It is a beautiful evergreen azalea that's going to have very small blooms and very small foliage. And that's why it's so popular for bonsai. This being an evergreen azalea, it's extremely shapeable, but that compact shape and small bloom makes it excellent for the container garden and excellent for the bonsai garden. We often share some really great photos of this one that have been turned into bonsai as an example of something you can do with this one. It's going to be a great plant in the landscape as well. It's going to be that small compact shape at 3 to 4 feet tall. So an excellent overall grower that has small foliage, but really, really bright pink color. What this one's famous for is that crimson. It's almost bright, picked up neon pinkish red. It's an excellent color, a very good bloomer. And one of the things that made this one so popular is it's extremely cold tolerant. So being one of the evergreen azaleas, it is actually one of the most cold tolerant versions of an evergreen as well. So it's one that's gotten popular all over the United States, but it's definitely one that you're going to want to add in your garden. So last but certainly not least, we've got one of the OG Kurume azaleas. This is a really cool Kurume azalea, Pink Pearl. This has one of the coolest stories behind it ever. This plant was actually found beside an active volcano by a samurai who's kind of the father of all Kurume azaleas.
Yeah, found on the side of an active volcano by a samurai. How cool is that? I
Pretty darn cool.
you don't get much cooler than that for a story behind a plant. And Pink Pearl lives up to expectations. Being a Kurume azalea, they've been cultivated in Japan for over 300 years. This is one that just has blooms up and down the branches. It'll be filled with that pink color, giving you some really nice of that coral light pink, so more of that baby pink color, all up and down the branches. This is one that gets about 4 to 5 feet in height by about 4 to 5 foot in width in 10 years, and really just adds something very unique and different, but also has that awesome story behind it as well.
Now you can read more about each of these on Mr. Maple. We have a wide assortment of azaleas, so definitely check out our website. We'll have the azaleas linked in the comment section below. We've got a ton of interesting evergreen azaleas, and you'll definitely want to check out more on Pink Pearl. You can read more about that whole story, but a really fun plant, but also an excellent plant for the color. It really brings just what you want in the name Pink Pearl to the market too.
And it's everything you love about azaleas. I mean, we love azaleas because they bring that sort of vibrant spring colors that remind you of the seasons changing. They go so well with Japanese maples, grow in similar conditions. And this brings the essence of Japan right there to your garden as well. I mean, this was found on the side of a volcano in Japan. I'm
really missing that I didn't get to order a samurai sword as a business write-off just for this video. I feel like maybe we'll need to reshoot this in the future and I can order a samurai sword on Mr. Maple.
We love azaleas though. I hope you're starting to enjoy some of these azaleas as well. There's so many fun, exciting ones. And like I said, they pair so well with Japanese maples, it's a natural fit. And they add a lot of color out there in the garden.
Yeah, let us know if you like this flowering content. I'm sure we'll be doing a 5 native azaleas just because we love those too. And we've got a big collection of them, so that'll be coming soon. But we hope you enjoy this kind of thing. Let us know if there's other azaleas you'd like for us to do content on in the future. We're gonna be bringing you a wide arrangement of just different plants. I mean, you know us for the Japanese maples for sure, but we get crazy about a lot of plants, and so we wanna, experiment and grow them ourselves and then bring them to the market to you. So we hope you've enjoyed this look at 5 evergreen azaleas that you should be growing.
If you're into all this flowering content, make sure you're signed up for our weekly emails on MrMaple.com, on Fun Flower Fridays on our website. On Friday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, we add 10 new flowering items, often mini azaleas. So you'll definitely want to go to MrMaple.com and sign up for that weekly email.
Hey, and if you want to help me buy a samurai sword as a business expense, make sure to like and subscribe to our channel or that's never going to happen. Take care, God bless,
and have a great day.